miles and run it back.
Self-encounter show. Self-encounter show. Self-encounter show. We go on and on and on. Come and vibe and chill as we grow. Come and vibe and chill as we grow. Come and vibe and chill as we grow. As we grow.
All right, welcome. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. And here we are with another show. I do have a special guest with us to help educate on this topic here. So before we get started though, I just want to remind everybody that this is a safe space for us to laugh together, grow, heal, and just have fun overall. So without a doubt, let's go ahead and introduce our special guest, Tationna. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me. As Nisha stated, my name is Tationna. I go by Tati. I'm from Cross. I don't know. I joined the military about almost 13 years ago, and it's been that ever since. A little bit about myself. I still like working out. I really like hanging with my son, like doing fun things with my son. And I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Hold on, let me put the little I gotta put a little hand clap thing with it. Let me find it. One second. Here we go. Yes. Okay. So the topic that we have is postpartum. I did do a little research on my end. And what I've learned is that the blue dot is the national symbol for maternal mental health, which I mean, I never knew that, but as of today, now I know. And then I also learned that postpartum it's just like the recovery and adjustment period after giving birth, which it affects the body, your hormones, your emotions, and just your daily life overall. But I'm just gonna step back so you can kind of dig deep into it, kind of, you know what I'm saying, educate me along with everybody else that's tuned in right now.
Okay.
And the first question I have for you is, when did you notice you were experiencing postpartum?
Okay. So I think I'm gonna come back to that question, but I think like what a lot of people don't realize is postpartum, they think of just postpartum. Postpartum can happen prior to you even giving birth. I didn't necessarily go through that. I didn't experience any emotions like during my pregnancy, before my pregnancy. Like, I mean, yeah, I was dealing with like anxiety and like clinical like depression or whatever, like prior to my pregnancy, but I never had like that type of feeling, like those feelings, like darkness or anything like that, like while I was pregnant.
Okay.
I think to answer your question, when I realized that I was experiencing postpartum, was I had just given birth to my son, and I remember his it was a pediatrician at the hospital that had came in, and she began like running her tests on my son, and like the way she was handling him, like it broke me, because I was like, nobody's supposed to handle a child like that. Like she was just like, oh, like we're testing like his ability, like his neck and stuff like that. I thought she was trying to hurt him, because I'm like, yo, his neck, you know? And like I was like, okay, so like it made me angry, but I couldn't like tell her like, like, give me my child, because I'm in the hospital, like, he's getting like checked so we can go home. And I think me having to kind of like hold that in, not really hold it in, because I did inform a nurse or whatever, but I think like that's when I started beginning, because that is the first time I had cried, like throughout my entire pregnancy. That was the first time I cried, and it all just came rushing to me at once, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I had a nurse, she was Black, and she ended up telling me, she was just like, like, did you read up on like postpartum depression? I'm like, no, I don't got that. And you know, like, mind you, like my sister, she had given birth, and like my friends, they, you know, like I've always like heard them talk about it, but we never talked in depth about it because I'm like, nah, like, you know, you don't think that it can happen to
Mm-hmm.
you. So I'm like, no, no way, not this time. So then I ended up like, you know, I ended up like starting to like feel certain things. So I was just like, okay, maybe I am experiencing postpartum. And I was like, maybe I need to talk to somebody, maybe I need to tell somebody. But then, you know, like again, it's still like a stigma. And I'm like, no, like I don't got that. Like I'm cool. I'm cool. But no, I definitely had postpartum, and I definitely recognized it early. But I'm glad that I was self-aware. Like I have a lot of self-awareness. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad that I have like a lot of self-awareness, because in that moment of me saying like, you know, like something's wrong, I knew I needed help. And like I never shared this with anybody except my therapist. And it was just like I felt like there was no emotional connection when I first had my son. Like I love him, don't get me wrong, but I felt like there was no emotional connection, and I felt like that was a part of postpartum. And then like once I started like seeing a therapist and like talking to her and expressing like kind of what I felt, she was just like, you know, like she was like, you know, you're not like most people. Like most people don't have self-awareness. They can't, you know, like they don't distinguish that type of, they don't distinguish those types of feelings. But then once I started talking to her and she started like telling me like little things, and it started helping my relationship with my son, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like now I feel better. So don't get me wrong, you still go through it. Like I'm not saying I'm completely like healed or whatever, but no, like every day it's a work in progress.
I felt that because that is one thing that I've learned too while I was researching it, that like a lot of people are in denial of it. I guess just the acceptance, like that I'm really like suffering, you know.
Yeah,
But I'm glad that you were able to, you know, catch it early and start working on it.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I
Cause
do appreciate.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just about to say I appreciate you like opening up when you said you never told nobody, but you know what I'm saying, you telling us. So
Yeah, it's a safe place.
yeah.
It's a safe place. So, you know,
It
I
is.
no, cause like sometimes I realize like if I gatekeep some of the things that I went through, I'm like, it could be helpful to somebody else, you know?
Mhm.
So it's just like, okay, somebody else probably felt like that too and didn't think that it was a part of postpartum. They probably just think like I just don't have a connection, you know? But no,
Mhm.
that's real. And I'm just grateful for the ability to be aware of like feelings and emotions and actions. Cause I of course I watch a lot of TV shows, I do a lot of research. I've seen people like instead of it being like postpartum depression, and when it's untreated, it
Yeah.
turns into postpartum psychosis. And
Oh.
like and a lot of people always say like, oh, it comes from not having the proper support, or like the child's father and stuff like that. That's not true. Like I've seen situations, I've been in situations. So you know, it's just like, no, that's not true. Like it can happen to anybody. And it's just about how you deal with things. It's just about, you know, like it's all about how you process certain things.
Mhm. I'm with you on that one.
I'm telling you.
Like I heard the word, you know what I'm saying? I know bits and
Yeah.
pieces, but like I didn't know how in depth it goes and how like
I'm
it
telling you.
affects everybody differently. So like what you might have went through, it's probably totally different for somebody else. And if you don't have the support, you know, that just makes it even more stressful.
Yes.
So
You want to take a nap with me? Okay, come on. I hope you don't mind. I have a guest for the show.
you
Come
good.
on, you got to get down. Don't go that way. You got to get down and come around. What's the matter? What happened? Oh, it's okay.
See, he wanted his grand entrance. I'm with it.
You all right? Okay. Can mommy finish the show? Okay. About to be 3 years old and still acting like a baby.
Look, he said he want to be on the show too. Like we can't leave him out.
Uh-huh.
A week. So once you noticed that you were dealing with the symptoms, going through the motions and everything, what would you say was the hardest part about the process overall?
I think the hardest part was also pride, because I live by myself.
Okay.
So, um, or I lived by myself, and I think the hardest part of the process was just kind of like one accepting that I knew what was wrong and knowing that I needed the help, but again, I was still at that point where I was just like too prideful to kind of like ask for help. So like,
Yes.
um I had to I people don't know, but like I don't like asking for help, right? So
Mhm.
it took a lot in me to ask my mom, like, hey, do you mind moving across the country to help me? Like, just so I know I don't lose my mind, right? In a sense. And for her to be willing to just be like, yeah, I'm like, oh, oh, that was easier than I thought. Like I thought you was gonna say no. Like, so um that kind of like helped me. That I feel like that was the hardest part. But then once she agreed to it, and I was like, okay, like when are you coming? Like let's talk about it. Like when are you coming? Because I need to get out this house. Like, because another thing people don't understand is like a part of postpartum that was also hard was the anxiety of having a child and then thinking about other people's actions. So
Mm.
I lived in Houston. So I used to always see these Amber Alerts coming out. So I'm like, so like you start putting stuff in your own head when you start overthinking, right? So I used to be
Okay.
like, oh, like I'm gonna go grocery shopping with him. And then I'm like, well, what if I'm trying to put him in the car and somebody try to take him? So,
Hmm.
like I started acting like that. So that's when I started like grocery shopping online. So my friend Ashley, she like, well, before I even had him, she used to always tell me, like, girl, don't go out. Like you could just order your food home. And I'm like, but that would be like my little time to myself to get out and do grocery shopping. But then it was just like, I'm like, oh nah, like now I'm thinking about it. People are weird. And what if somebody tried to take him? So
Right.
I started not going out. I would only go out if I was taking him to an appointment or like if I had somebody else with me. And so I was like, no, like this is becoming too much. So for me to kind of like the hardest part again for me was just like asking my mom, like, or like, I guess like just expressing that vulnerability to her, like, I can't do it. Like I could do it 100% by myself. But I
Hmm.
think that at that time I was just in such a different like headspace that I was just like, like, can you help me out? And when she said yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Like, like that I was like, oh, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. But it was hard to kind of like swallow my pride and ask for help.
Yeah, I was gonna say, listen, when it comes to pride, I suffer with the same thing. I can do it myself. So-
Okay. I was like, I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. Like, and I think that's still me, like to this day. Like I still don't like to ask for help. I'll figure it out. Like it
Mhm.
it will get done.
Man, but look, this year I'm learning that like a lot of people they want to feel needed, so they just be waiting for us to ask for help. I'm like,
I know.
this
I
so
know. But I feel like that kind of like bit me in the butt too, because when I did ask for help, like outside of my mom, when I did ask for help, like when my son was first starting daycare, like
Mhm.
it came back to kind of like bite me because something was said to something I asked for and like in privacy, it came back to
Yes.
me through my sister. So I'm just like, uh, I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me pump the brakes. So now I'm not gonna ask for anything.
Right,
Like,
right.
it is what it is. So, and I promise you, what was it? September 2023. I've never asked for anything else.
This is like the
Like, you don't have
audacity.
listen. You don't have to worry about me. I'll never. Okay, never. Like, and it sucks to, and they say never say never, but like I'm telling you, like I will figure it out.
Mm-hmm. I know. So you got one time, and once I hear
One
you
time.
say something,
I'm
you don't have
telling
to worry
you,
about me.
you don't gotta worry about me.
That's my favorite line right there. Nah.
Okay.
So in that case, right? So when it comes with the overthinking and the pride and just different things, right? So did you worry about how people viewed you at the fact that like you kept them in the house, you really wasn't going out like that? They might have looked at you as you being different now.
No, not really. I think another thing, ever since like having a kid,
Mhm.
you don't worry about people pleasing. Like I told myself like a long time ago, look at you. I had told myself a long time ago that I was never like I was gonna stop like people pleasing because it
Mhm.
didn't get me anywhere. Like people will like you, for what you can do for them, right?
Yes.
Or stuff that you can offer them. And that gets old and it dies quickly. So like I can't say that I was worried about other people's opinions because a lot of time people didn't know. I had like a like a group chat on
Yes.
or like a group on like Facebook or whatever. And like the people that knew I was dealing with postpartum, they knew and they helped me as much as they could from a distance. And that's what I'm most appreciative for. Like so my circle was really small and it still is really small. As you can see, a lot of people they still don't know what my son looked like unless they see him in person. Um, because again, like it's just like people will begin to kind of like try to put an image on you, not knowing what you're going through. So like the people that knew. The people that didn't know, they didn't need to know.
Mhm.
Um, but nobody knew because I'm not gonna say I was suffering in silence, but I was suffering within my circle. Um, so like if I had to do something where it was like a work event or something like that, like I always brought my son because I knew I was gonna be around people
Yes.
who would look out for me and would also look out for him. But like um when it came to like doing stuff, I wouldn't necessarily say like I would say like Ashley would really try to get me out of the house or like she would come. Are you digging in your nose on live? Dude,
It's
that's so nasty. Ew, you're touching me. Okay. Um, so like I feel like she would always try to get me out of the house and like do stuff, but I feel like she kind of also knew,
Mhm.
so we didn't really I wouldn't say like I worried about people's opinions because I mean even to the day like I still don't care. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So um that's really just the case. Okay. Um and so yeah, that's really it. I didn't really worry about people's opinions. Not really. I will say the one person I did worry about was my grandma
Your grandma?
because yeah, yeah. I always thought about what my grandmother would think because I always felt um like she would want me to be home.
Mhm.
Um she would want me to be home. So, I think like I always worry like what she would say. Like if I told her like, hey, like I'm going through this or whatever, and she'd be like, well, I told you to move back home, or something like that along them lines. Like she
Okay.
never said that, but like that's something that I thought in my head, like, nah, she probably would say this. So let's not even tell her. But like my grandmother was always my what? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Um so I'm like, I just that's my little thought. I mean, I didn't really care about anybody else's opinion, but yeah, probably my grandmother. That was probably it.
I feel you.
Like
Yeah,
my
I get because you
grandma.
be like, you don't have to say it, but your mind start to think like, but
I'm
it's the
telling you.
context clues that you saying.
Yes, yes.
uh Um, so in that case, right? So what helped you like get through it? and to kind of, get back to
Okay.
you.
Let me tell you, you're gonna think I sound crazy, and
Oh.
everybody from Cross that know me, they're probably gonna be like, "Bro, this girl's silly." I will tell you what helped me. Therapy helped me, but the
Uh-huh.
biggest thing that helped me was getting back in college.
What?
Yes. So, like, going back to school gave me like a little purpose. Like, it was like, all right, now I got something to do. I got something else to focus on. Like, I gotta turn in this assignment. I gotta do this. So
Mm,
my goal, like originally, I wasn't supposed to graduate until 20 2027.
okay.
Um, 2027. Oh, what? No, yeah, 2024. So I think I was either supposed to graduate this year, 2026, or 2027. I ended up like overloading on my classes just so I could, like focus, give
Uh,
myself something to do. And I was like, all right, like granted, everybody say, oh, like once I have a kid, everything I do is for my kid. No, you gotta make some time in there for yourself. Like what's gonna help you? Because without you, your kid ain't gonna be able to do nothing, you
mm-hmm.
know. So it was just like, so in order for me not to lose my mind, I know I had to focus on something that I enjoy doing. Everybody knows I love school, so that was my thing. It sounds silly, I know, but like
Hey.
I I also had this therapist. She reminded me of my grandmother. Like it's so bad, like to the point, like I messaged this lady on her personal phone. Like we be having conversations like outside of therapy, like we be having conversations like she my grandmother.
Uh-huh.
And like she's so like, but she's so understanding and like she give it to you real and she give it to you raw. Like, oh, you shouldn't have did that. Like, and it's no sugarcoating. And that's what I like because I feel like a lot of the times some therapists like, they kind of they beat around the bush with certain things, but no, she told me like straight up, like this, you're wrong. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, yeah, I needed that. Like, all right, like, because there were other circumstances surrounding the situation, and she told me like, hey, no, you're wrong. This is what you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how you fix it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. And then as I started to mend relationships and fix certain things, everything started to fall in place and everything started to align. And that kind of helped me because I'm a person that beats myself up over conversations. So somebody will say something and it'll play back in my head, and I'm like, I should have said this. This was the opportunity I had to say this, and I sit and I let things fester, and that's my biggest problem. And I've learned that I can't do that. Like I have to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether it's gonna hurt somebody's feelings or it's gonna create an argument or not even an argument, just a disagreement or a discussion that needs
Yeah.
to be had. I do that now. So it's just like like I can't sit here and just be like, you know, let you say whatever and then not think about it. Nah, nah, mm-mm. We gonna have to you could do it. Yeah. Um, sorry, mama. I was in the process of cooking dinner and then he fell asleep and I was cleaning. But everything is just
That's it.
yeah.
You
We
seeing
still
no
gotta
wrong.
flow. We
This
still
is,
gotta flow.
exactly. We gonna keep on going because this is what it's like being a mom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Listen. And I think that also plays a part into it too, because it's just like I like in still having to be a mom, I still feel like I still have to be a daughter. I still have to be like a friend. And a lot of the times I feel like I be so tired that
Mhm.
I neglect responsibilities like that. Like I feel like I could do a better job at checking in on some of my friends. I really do. And I really feel like I need to start setting like a schedule. Like, hey, once I get off work, 5 to 6 is my son's time for us to go outside, play, no phones, no nothing, or if it's too cold or whatever, but it's starting to warm up. So we're gonna be outside a little bit more. But then like probably from like 6 to 7, while he's eating dinner or we're eating dinner or something like that, then like I'm gonna set that time to hey, check on my friends or text back to people who text me, and stuff like that. But I feel like as a friend now, what I know now about postpartum is
Yes.
I need to do a better job at ensuring that my friends are okay. Not even my friends. Even if I see something on Instagram, like I really be randomly texting people on Instagram. Like when I see like posts like moms like going through it, I just randomly send a message like, hey, like if you ever need to talk, like you can call me or you can text me, something like that, because I've been there.
Mhm.
So it's just like I feel like I could do a better job at doing that. And like even like my sister, like how like I ain't saying I'm like the richest person in the world, but sometimes I do be feeling like I like do something special, like fly her out, like do this or send her flowers, do this, because I be wanting her to be able to just be like, like I could relax. But
Yeah.
like I live halfway across the world now, so it's just like, all right, bro, them flights getting kind of expensive. So
Right.
like I always try to like that's why I always like my family will tell you I always plan like something every year since my son has been born. Like we have like a family trip every summer and
Mhm.
like or like summer going into like fall or whatever. Or we'll do it in the winter. Like this year we already did my brother's birthday. Then I got like my son's birthday coming up. So I'm doing like a trip for them and then like we'll do something probably more towards like a some more family things like towards the end of the year. But like that's like my goal because that's how I stay grounded too. Because a lot of I mean, don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, I be mad, I be pissed off when I be with them. Like they piss me off. But again, I'm with them
Uh-huh.
because they keep me grounded because
As-
it's still like, like this all I got. Like this is my family. And don't get me wrong, in the military, you make a lot of friends that turn into family. But
Mhm.
then like I'm still so mad. I beat myself up, and I be so mad because I met one of the greatest people in me and my son's life and my mother, Ashley, and I had to leave Houston, so I don't get to visit as often. But I'm like, you know what? Like before this year's over, like we flying, we doing this, or we gonna go surprise her, or whatever the case may be. Oh wait, we live. I hope she's not watching. But like little stuff like that, and it's just like, like that's I do that because that I know how it feels. Like all right, like and I don't know, they keep me together. And they'll stop booking on me. You dirty. Go wash your hands. It's dirty. Kids is Lord, little kids is nasty.
That's
Little kids is
this worse.
nasty.
He's a boy too. So
I know. Nasty. He just randomly just came over and wiped my leg. Like dirty.
Oh, that's funny. I swear they're like little comedians. You
I'm
just never
telling
know what's
you.
gonna happen.
I'm telling you. You don't. You don't. You don't. Oh. But yeah, to me, I feel like that's kind of like that's to answer your question. That's for me. I wish I would do a better job. I'm going to. I'm going to. I gotta get a little schedule. I ain't gonna lie. My schedule been a little hectic lately. What's up, dude? It's been a little hectic lately. So, well, soon as my job up tempo calm down,
Hmm.
we're gonna get back into a better a better schedule because schedules help. I don't know. When your kid is on a schedule, you're on a schedule. It just make things run more smoothly. But I think like me kind of like implementing like these little things that I want to do, as far as like check-ins, because again, them check-ins are important,
They are.
important. So I got to do a better job at checking on my friends, my siblings, making sure they're good.
Yeah, because it is like a simple "Hey, how you doing?" just makes somebody feel special and like thought of. Like even me, like when I get those messages, I'm like, "Oh, you thought about me." So I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same way. And
No, for real, because it just be like my friend. She I think she texted me yesterday or she texted me this morning. She was like thinking of you. I'm like me. I'm like, like hey. And that's and like again, I mean, but me, I'm also an overthinker. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what was she thinking? Like, or she thinking I'm about to die or something. You know, like me, I start
Crazy stuff,
everything.
yeah.
I catastrophize everything. So it's like it's no simple like, oh hey, you just ran across my mind.
Mm.
No, I'm like, oh, what was it? Like, well, I ran across your mind. Like, in what way? Like, was I doing something? And my person's like, bro, just calm down. I was just thinking about you. I was just making sure you're okay. I'm like, oh, okay, it's in your way. Excuse me. Can you not break my laptop? Because if you break it, then we're gonna use your money to buy me a new one. Okay?
I know that's right.
You gonna buy me a pink one? Oh, thank you. I
Thoughtful
appreciate it.
too.
Because I he said pink one. Okay.
So I have another question. It's gonna be on the spot, but it's not a hard question. It's just more so like for anybody that's out there right now that's struggling with it, what advice would you give somebody?
I would say, kind of like find somebody to talk to. Whether that's a therapist, there's always like a crisis hotline. And it doesn't have to be like you don't have to be thinking about like suicide. You don't have to be thinking about none of that. It's always like there's a crisis hotline that you could talk to somebody. There's the nurse advice hotline to ensure like what you're feeling is normal. And then they'll,
Hmm.
like they'll guide you in the right direction. I will also say kind of like lean into what you have a passion for, because again, that may save your life. Again, for me, it was school. So I would say like if you feel like you're going through postpartum, or just find somebody to talk to, because again, it could save your life. It could save somebody else's life. Um, I just read up on a story about a woman who was married, and I think she just had a baby. Um, Either she just had a baby, or she either just had the baby, or she had two kids previously, and she drowned the kids. Her killed
Ooh.
herself and drowned the kids. And so it was just like, like in those moments, you think like, hey, what could somebody have done? Like, and a lot of the times, if your friend is telling you that they're not okay, and you keep saying, hey, yes, you got this. No, they're telling you they're not okay. So believe them. Figure out
Mhm.
how you can help them, or get them the help that they need. So that would be like my advice to them.
Okay, look, I'm speechless right now. But and then for anybody, I guess, like for example, like for me, somebody who know people, what advice would you have for the outsiders to support and show up better for our moms?
So I would just say like checking in, like ask them if they need anything, as far as like sometimes it's just a break. Like for me, I'll give you another example. I have one of my friends from college. Her name is Kayla.
Mhm.
Kayla flew all the way to Houston just to help me for a week after my mom had left. My mom stayed with me for 3 weeks after I had my son. Kayla flew in that week or whatever, that following week. And I was so I think I was going through so much, like postpartum and everything. I wouldn't let nobody hold him. Nobody touched or held my son besides my mom for 2 months. 2 months. Like, and imagine I had people visit my house. I went out, and then when I went out of town for our family vacation, that was the first time I let somebody hold my son other than my mom. So, like I would just say sometimes they just need a break, and then let them know, like, hey, it's okay. I'm not saying everybody's gonna be like me. Like, I literally would not let nobody hold on. I'm like, hey, I got him. I got him. She's like, hey, you need to go take a shower. I'm like, I'll wait till he sleep. Like, I'm like, I got him.
Mhm.
And she cooked for me, like just like doing like those little simple things, like washing bottles, um, or just like, hey, like I'll push the stroller. Like if you don't want me to touch him, put him in the stroller. I'll walk him around the block. You take a shower and then meet us outside or something like that. So that's kind of like advice I would give. I would just say, and just do check-ins. Just like, hey, are you feeling okay? Because a lot of times we'll probably say yeah, but you'd be like, I know you're not okay, but
Uh-huh.
is there anything that I can do? Like, what do you need? And then a lot of the times, if somebody asks you, like, what do you need? A lot of times people will open up and say, because I feel like if if people would have asked me, like, hey, do you need anything? I probably would have been like, honestly, I could, yeah, like if you want to walk around the block with me, like I need to get outside. And I lived in a roughly like a safe neighborhood, excuse me, and like I used to always take him for walks outside, but I feel like again, like I feel like I was still kind of like stuck. Like I didn't, he was attached to my hip. Even now, like my kid is attached to my hip. The only time we have
Yeah.
apart is when I go to work and he go to daycare. And some days, if I don't want to take him to daycare, I take him with me to work. He got a cot. He got a cot already in my office. Like he goes to the office with me, and like they know him. They know that, and the crazy thing is they're already expecting it. Like they know
Mhm.
he's gonna run around in the office. They know that he's gonna come in their office, ask them for snacks or whatever the case may be. So it's like they already know. So it's just like I think it's just asking like if they need anything. Because if somebody was to ask me right now, like, what do you need? I'm like, oh, just I don't know, like take him outside. So, I don't know. It's pretty. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's good insight though. Like, so now we know. Just send a quick text if you can't
Just,
pick up the phone and call, or if he can't stop by. So
yeah, that's it. Just
yeah.
doing those check-ins. I would say
Mhm.
flowers too. Flowers make you
Okay.
feel appreciated. So food, flowers, check-ins. Um, food, flowers, check-ins. And I had one friend. I will say this. I had one friend that said, "Hey, I'll pay for a babysitter. Bring your tail outside." So I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "Okay," and I asked my mom, "What's your cash app?" And like, so we went outside, like, and that was like kind of like the first time I kind of like let my hair down. It was just like okay, but then like I'm in the like we're in the club, and I'm like
Text.
looking at pictures of my son or texting my mom, like, y'all okay? So, um, it comes in phases, and I don't think that that's something that should be taken lightly. I think that like it's not talked about enough, and or like especially especially with Black mothers.
Hmm.
I think there's also like that. Another thing is like I feel like if my mom wasn't there, everything probably could have went wrong, right? Because again, I advocated for myself, but
Yeah.
having an additional voice, because they told me like, oh, if his heart rate doesn't calm down, like you're gonna have an emergency C-section. I'm like, nobody's cutting me today, like So then I feel like that also was like a trigger too, because it's just like they're trying to have surgery on, like they're trying to give me a C-section, and that's not something that I wanted. Like
Hmm.
you have a birth plan for a reason. Like I get it if it's like an emergency, but that wasn't an emergency. Like I feel like everything that they were saying was kind of causing me to kind of like, hyperventilate and like become nervous. So of course his
Yeah.
heart rate is gonna rise because I'm nervous. So it's like he don't know what's going on. He's about to be in distress. I'm in distress. So
Right.
I'm like, I feel like just having a an advocate. I feel like if I was to do it again, I wish that I would have who could advocate for me, and
Hmm.
like and then like also like protect you in those moments. And I feel like that kind of attributed to a lot of the postpartum that I went through as well. Having somebody to kind of like advocate for you, even it doesn't matter who's in the room. I just feel like having somebody that could like really advocate, and who's good for that. Who told me? She told me a lot actually. Ashley Edie, she told me a lot too. Um, like she's like, don't go in there and let them people do nothing. Just do anything, like. And I think
Yeah.
I still got messages from that. Um, and it was just like insight. I'm like, all right, yeah, like I'm sticking to the plan. So to kind of like have that, like have people in your corner So like, hey, if anything would have went wrong, like, no, like, this is like, I had these messages in my phone saying like this was the plan or whatever the case may be. But again, I'm thankful that my mother was there. And Quan, but I know Quan was about to pass out. But you know what? I'm grateful. So, it's just, I don't know, like, I just think that it needs to be, um, I feel like Black women need to be advocated more
Mhm.
during that moment and the moments after. I probably wouldn't have went through postpartum as bad as I did if I had, like, kind of would have knew more. Like, if I know what I know now, I feel like I probably wouldn't. It probably wouldn't hit as hard. Let me not say I wouldn't go through it, because I think it wouldn't hit as hard. It'd be more manageable. Let me say that.
Yeah, because I mean, you see that on social media all the time. Like, Black women, y'all have to like speak up, because if not,
I'm
then
telling you,
they'll run you
they
over.
be dying in childbirth, dying right after childbirth, dying before they give birth to a child. Like, and that's scary. That was scary. I'm like, I started having contractions, and my mother was still in South Carolina. So it
See?
was just like, I'm like, all right, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, all right, calm down, calm down. First of all, calm down. So that's,
Mhm.
like, and it was just like being able to like tell my sister like, oh yeah, we probably having him today, and she's just like, do you need anything? And even like my ex, his sisters, like, do you need anything? I'm like we cool, like you sure, like we cool, like, and then so I mean, she was very helpful. Even my ex texted me like, hey, like I could tell her to meet you there right now, this that and the third, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I'm like you serious? Like, like like that's not normal. But again, I guess, like, I mean, family is family, right? No matter how they
Mhm.
come. So um,
Yep.
I think that was like, that was a big thing for me. Like, so yeah. But I mean, through it all, healing, and um, I think like making progress is always like the goal. So every day is we learn something new
Mhm.
in motherhood. So I just learned this guy. Uh, can I help you down? Yeah. I just learned that this guy. Um, here, you want these? Actually, started saying 6'7", and had no idea what that was. So I learned something new every day. Um, and his favorite song right now is Peanut Butter Jelly Time. So
Not a peanut butter jelly. Okay.
listen, listen,
You're life of the party
listen.
already.
Okay, I class clown already. Crazy.
Yeah, I can say, shoot, just in us talking right now, I already learned some new stuff. So I definitely appreciate you coming on here and just opening up and giving us some insight so that we know how to move going forward. Whether that's anybody that's expecting or a friend of somebody that's expecting, we know how to like be there for people and just show up. Um,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you for thinking of me to have me on the show. So
of course.
I
Who else was
appreciate
I
it.
gonna ask? I'm just kidding. Um, Before I let you go, is there anything else you wanna, say to the people?
I just say, y'all know, if y'all need help, just reach out. If y'all had any more questions, if y'all want to, just reach out. Again, like I said, I message random people, like seeing them go through things, and I feel like it shouldn't have to get to that point where people have to get on the internet and kind of like cry and
Hmm.
express their vulnerability like that. I just think, like, as a human being or like a person with a heart, if you know that somebody's expecting a child or has a child or something like that, like, you just naturally, even if they're in good spirits, because some people, like, again, they may not be experiencing it, you just be like, hey, like, what techniques helped you, kind of like not have to deal with this. Some people may say, oh, like, I have a really great husband, or I have a really great partner, this that and the third, but that may not be the case for everybody. And again, like, you can have the support system, and I still see people go through it. So it's just like, like, well, what makes you stronger, or what has made you stronger to the point that like you're not dealing with it, or like you're managing your symptoms or whatever the case may be. So
Mm-hmm.
I think no, go get your iPad out my room. Um, so I think just kind of like reaching out to people, or just, like a simple hello, hey, how you doing? Do you need anything? And it don't always, again, it doesn't have to always be monetary needs or something like that. Like, it really could be, hey, I just need a break. Hey, do you want to go out for drinks? Hey, do you want to go to a movie? Hey, do you want to go get a massage? Hey, do you want to go get your nails done? Hey, do you want to just sit outside, have a picnic, and read a book? That's it. That's it.
Simple.
And it's simple. And that would be like my thing. That's my ending message. Just like, check on people. Kindness, it costs $0. Spread kindness, spread love, and just, you never know what somebody's going through. So always be kind. Um, I don't know. That's really it.
You
That's
said a
all
word
I
though.
have.
I appreciate you, man. I hope you have a wonderful week.
Thank you. I hope you do too. I hope you do too.
Appreciate that. Um, but yeah, until next time.
Until next time, let me know when the next show is, and I'll definitely be tuned in. And let me know if you want to do another topic, and we could talk about it.
Okay, don't tell me that now, because I'll think of a topic. Well, all right.
All right. Thank you again.
No, thank you.
Bye, guys.